por ese nuevo tipo que ocupa mi lugar. Enhorabuena, tú quédate tranquila.
As we head up Burnside Hill, I prefer Burnside Hill. On a Thursday already, huh? Can you believe it? Thursday night in the city. And as always, there's never a shortage of blog material when it comes to TriMet. Today we had multiple stories. We had the story of Claudine, the wonderful Claudine. What's that guy doing there? He's just sitting. Look at that. That is so sad. Oh God. It is so sad. He's just sitting on the sidewalk there, trying to beg some money. It's rather very sad. Well, you know, the world is a fucked up place. What can I tell you? Yeah, you know, now that they've published her work record, I gotta tell you, it's pretty shocking, you know. Look at them zooming up the Burnside Hill. Nobody can relax when it comes to driving. No service. There we gotta be in a goddamn rush always. God, you'd think with these kind of conditions, you just take it easy, you know? You know, 35 miles an hour up the hill, we'll be fine. Look, we got another... Yeah, the traffic is backed up on the highway again. So as you can see, we have the line of cars coming down off the hill going east, just all backed up again. Meanwhile, we have a blizzard of leaves here on the road. I thought they were supposed to sweep up these leaves. Look at him, he's zooming in and out. I'm going to zoom in and out. I'm going to zoom around you, and I'm going to zoom over there on Burnside Hill Road, because I am such in a rush that I'm going to show you that I can get there 2 seconds faster than you. Yes, and so goes the life of the American commuter. Zooming up the road to prove that he's got the fastest car, the most expensive car, whatever. Okay, well anyway, Claudine, you know, I was pretty shocked actually to read the work history, the disciplinary history of her. That was rather shocking. I found it really unusual to say the least. She's had so many retraining and counseling and whatever, and still does not change her behavior. But that's not surprising. Those of us that know her. I really don't know what to say about it. You know, I'm not sure whether this trial by press is appropriate, but I understand the frustrations of the press and the public here, because I have this, you can't get the management to actually listen to you or do anything about anything if they don't want to. It's such a tight-lipped ship here. And when it comes to government and transparency, I stand strictly with the conservative movement. If it's government funded, the public has a right to know. If it's taxpayer funded projects, then nothing is secret in it. That's how I feel about it. It's public right to know. And that's the same thing in this case. And when I was hauled into Greg Larson's recently, he asked me, he said, well, how would you like it if you were in that crash and you were on the TV? Well, I said to him that obviously I wouldn't like it, but if that's the way it has to be, then that's the way it has to be. I mean, the public has a right to know. It's just that simple. You know, Lars Larson is right about that. If something happens in a public agency, that should be immediately released. There shouldn't be cover-ups. I know maybe they are just trying to protect the confidentiality of their operators. And that's very noble, and I can understand that point of view. But it's a tax-funded organization, and therefore must be transparent. You know, they don't even go to they don't even publicize their board meetings. Not that anybody actually wants to watch it, because nobody really does. It's completely boring. But I want to watch it. I watch it. I actually watch certain segments of those things. I think they're important to watch if you care about the organization. I don't know. Claudine, go ahead and retire, will you? It's time. She's 67. I didn't realize she was that old either. She's crystallized in her behavior, you know what I mean that? I mean, at a certain point, there's no retraining a person. This is who they are. And you're not going to change them, you know. So it's surprising that TriMet has so little regard for their public, that they would hoist that on them. And once again, I'll never stop hounding on the management's ultimately responsible for everything that happens here. Now, how could she get through the training and the recruitment and the probation without having any idea that she was not capable of handling the public or had no public relations skills? It all falls on the management while they're busy although Joe did rely a little bit, did make that point. I know, I don't really fault Joe for these stories at all. I think he's reporting this incident. I don't fault him for this. I think lately he's been doing a good job. But, you know, TriMet didn't release the information, so he got it. Why shouldn't he? That's his job. That's what he does. He's a reporter. He reports. It is kind of newsworthy as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that record of hers is monumental. You know, that is not some little dinky ass crappy record. She's got a long history. Look at this guy. Come on, come on, come on. She's got a long history of being poor employees. So I mean, I don't. And what is their excuse for not? Well, they should have put her on the train or put her somewhere else. I mean, if they don't want to fire people, at least put them where they can't do any damage, you know. I mean, I appreciate that they don't want to fire people. That's good. From my point of view, that's good. Is that what they're doing, or is it something else? I don't know. And then I also look at the traffic eastbound. Another night on the 58, stuck in the traffic. At least Canyon Road better be open. And I also put forth the premise that there is a double standard here between male and female operators. And I do really believe that the females do get more slack when it comes to discipline than men. I believe it. I'm not kidding about that. I think it's true. I don't know if it's conscious or not. But that's been my observation. And, you know, I've been observing TriMet management behavior for many, many years at a discipline, and I do see, just from observation standpoint, I mean, I don't have any facts, I don't have any figures, I don't have any way to prove it, of course, but from my point of view, it does seem to me that the discipline meted out to the male operators is significantly more brutal than it is to the female operators. The female operators really got to screw up, like Sandy Day type thing, before they get fired. You know, that's just my theory, and I think it's accurate based on observation. All right, and then on other news here, we have our beloved union president now convicted of DUI. So he's got a perfect trifecta this week, disregarding the Labor Management Act by banning Chris Day and then trying to take some trip to Romania in the middle of all of this, using funds that we don't have. And so, John, what else can you do wrong right now? Okay? And where is John Hunt? You saw Jeff Ackerson speaking out on behalf of Claudine, but where's John? Nowhere to be found. Look at the Ottawa Transit Union. They're vociferously defending their operators who are being charged with all kinds of stuff down there too. I mean, there is a witch hunt against operators going on. Bus operators are the villain all of a sudden. I don't understand why that's happening, but it does seem to be true. I guess we're like the poster child of the public servant that doesn't deserve to be a public servant or something. Some kind of, and therefore they can extrapolate from that unions are bad because look at Claudine, for example. I mean, look at this person. The union is all responsible for keeping that person up. Now, I don't know if that's true, but I do know that a union is better than no union, okay? If you're an employee, you want your union. You need some protections. Do they keep incompetent employees? Maybe they do, okay? Well, that's possible. Can that be changed? I don't see why not. But ultimately speaking, and I'll say it over and over, the management has recruited them, they've trained them, they saw them through the probation, and they retained them. Now you can't tell me, in the case of somebody like Claudine, that they didn't realize that she was lacking in some basic skills. So once they've recruited that person, retained them, it is up to the company to make sure they do the job right. If you know, they knew who she was when she came in here. So it's not really, oh, I can just get rid of her now after you've already created expectations of the employee too. The employee is expecting to have a job here, and if they came in and they were already who they are and the company knew it, then it's up to the company to find a way to make it work. In the case of Claudine, they couldn't make it work. And a lot of us have seen Claudine in action a long time, and she's a curiosity in the way she handles things. And the story is just outrageous, really. I mean, I had no idea they had that many complaints with her. So what's the matter with this company? You know, what's the matter with them? And why can't they get that straight? Why can't they see these problems and do something about it? Shit, they're always dealing with me. All I do is blog. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about Trimis. I don't really know what to say. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, our buddy Steve Fung tried to apply the parking brake today, and it went right through the dash. It went right on through the dash. And he's got a 12-second video of it. Now, that is safety first or what? When your equipment fails like that. And so we'll all get to see that as TriMet management fumbles its way through everything and then tries to put the blame on us. So yeah, they can't even put a bottle of anti-fog to protect it in a pouch, you know. To them it's, oh, it's not necessary. We've never had it before, so why should we have it now, right? Anyway, we can't wait to see that parking brake go through the dash. I fully expect to see that there tonight.